Okay, so now so far we have taken materials of made of isotropic material. So in this problem, we'll take a material composite material, which is we consider it as a orthotropic material. That is the only difference. Earlier problems are isotropic materials. Now in this problem, we'll take the material as orthotropic. So that means it is not isotropic. In case of isotropic material, all the properties in any direction they are same. Whereas in case of this orthotropic material, so the properties in mutually perpendicular planes are same, but if you deviate from that, there will be change in the material properties. So now we consider a simple problem. So a simply supported square plate AX and AY means square plate means the dimensions of the plate he has given it as 2000 mm and thickness of the plate is given it as 10 mm. So its material is AS4D 9310 and here he has given the number of layers and layups also. So here layer orientation also. First layer is 0, next is 90 degrees, next 45 degrees, next minus 45 degrees, and then used a letter called S means it is symmetric layers means these are the 4 layers, another 4 more layers with the opposite, so symmetry to this, that means there are total 8 layers. So now since you have a thickness of plate as 10 mm, you have 8 layers, so thickness of each layer is going to be 10 by 8. Number of layers are 8, the total thickness of the plate is 10. So therefore, number of layers, thickness of the each layer is going to be 10 by 8, which is 1.25. Then it is subjected to a tensile force of 100 Newton per mm. Then our aim in this experiment is we want to find out what is the maximum displacement at the edge of the plate, and also we want to see what is the stress field also. Okay, simple. Problem is simple. We need to create a square plate of size 2000 by 2000. Then we need to define 8 layers of each thickness 1.25 mm and the orientation of 8 layers is something like this. So then you need to apply the force. Only thing is you have to define the orthotropic material. So far we have taken isotropic material. Now we have to define orthotropic material. Okay. So now I will open the software. So actually I am in the process, just I started just now. So first what we'll do is we'll go for preprocessor, we'll go for add element type, then add edit. So in that you need to select, so under shell you need to select shell 8 node 281. So done. So I already added here that. So under options, so no need to do anything here, just whatever a default things is there, you take those default values. So then we need to define the material properties. We need to go for material models. So now here instead of isotropic, you need to select orthotropic. So under orthotropic, so it will ask for these properties: Ex, Ey, Ez. PRXY means Poisson's ratio in XY plane, Poisson's ratio YZ plane and XZ plane, GXY and GYZ and GXZ. These are the shear modulus in XY, YZ and ZX planes respectively. So that's why the properties what he has given in this question or in this problem, I entered those properties here. If you see it here, so EX is 133.86 E3, which is nothing but 1.33 into 86 E5. Then 7.7 E3 means 7706. Then EZ is 7706, 7706. Similarly, I entered these values. Poisson's ratio. This is the last row he has given. Poisson's ratio 0.301, 0.396, 0.301. So I entered those values. Then similarly, shear modulus values GXY 4.306, 2.76. and 4.30 E3. So like this, you need to enter all the given material properties. Then click OK. Okay. So once you have done that, then I need to define those 6 layers. So to do that, you click on sections, you go for cell length layer, then click add edit. So already added. So what I'll do is I'll delete and I'll one more time I'll show it to you. I'll delete all these layers. So first layer, default it will be layer. First layer thickness 1.25 and its orientation is 0. If you see here, the orientation is going to be first layer orientation is 0. 0, 90 plus
Yes, sir.
45 minus 45 like this.
Minus 9, minus 40.
So first layer is 1.25, orientation here orientation should be 0. Then click add layer. Then second layer is added. Its thickness is also 1.25, but its orientation is 90 degrees. You need to enter for orientation 90. See, you can see
Yes,
here 0 is showing horizontal line and 90 is showing it is pictorial view. It is showing 90 degrees as vertical line. Then click
Yes,
again
sir.
add. Third layer thickness is also 1.25, but its orientation is plus 45. Enter 45. See, now it is showing plus 45. It is showing that orientation also here in the pictorial view. Then add one more layer, that is fourth layer, 1.25, but its orientation is minus 45 degrees. See, it is showing in opposite to plus 45. Plus 45 is showing something like this. So
Yes, sir.
now I added 4 layers. To add remaining 4 layers, since the remaining layers are symmetric, then what I do is I'll go here tools, I'll click on add symmetry. So automatically remaining 4 layers will also get added up. See, now I added only 4, now it is showing 8 means. So by clicking that add symmetry option, remaining 4 layers is added. So now you check whether you have done it properly or not. Just verify the total thickness is 10 mm or not. You can check it here. Number of layers is 8. So you verify these 2 points. Then if it satisfies, then you need to check these values whether the orientations are properly or not. Obviously, if you give it correctly, it will take it correctly only. Okay.
Okay.
Done. So once I done that, then I'll go for modeling. Then first I'll create the plate by dimensions. So which is nothing but a square. So square is nothing but a rectangle.
Plate.
Clicking
Yes,
on
sir.
this. So what I'll do is I'll take, so here has given AX is 2000 and AY is 2000, means in X 2000, Y direction also 2000. So I want to make the center at 0, 0. Therefore, I will take the limits for X as minus 1000 and plus 1000. Similarly, limits for Y as minus 1000 and plus 1000. So therefore, this rectangle will be created. Okay. So once you've done that, then next what you have to do is you need to convert the geometry into your model. So for that, you need to go for mesh tool. Click on mesh tool. First, before meshing it, I'll divide the number of elements also, or I'll set the number of divisions also. So I'll set number of divisions. I'll pick all the lines. Then edge length, or you can divide the number. Okay, what I'll do is, since 2000 is my edge length, I'll give 20. So then, therefore, each side will be meshed into 100 elements. Or if you feel that is a large value, then what you can do is you can clear that. I can, instead of 20, what I'll do is I'll give it as 50, so that I have 50 elements in each direction. I'll give 50. Click OK. Then I'll mesh this. I'll go for mapped mesh. Then go for mesh. Click this area. Click OK. So now it is going to be mesh something like this. So if you take 20, it is going to be a very large number of elements, which will take some time to solve. So then, once you've done this, then what you need to do is you need to apply the loads and boundary conditions. So for that, what he has given is it is subjected to a tensile force. So that means I need to apply a tensile force. But here, even though he said it as a tensile force, he has given the load as 1000 Newton per mm. So that means it is applied for unit length, which is nothing but a distributed load, which is nothing but a pressure. So 100 Newton per mm. So in X direction, he said, this is our X direction. I'll apply 100 this side and also this side. So I'll go for define loads, apply structural pressure on nodes, on lines. So I'll select this line and this line. Click OK. So what is the value here? Minus 100 I need to apply, because pressure is a negative quantity, but in the problem a tensile value is given us. So minus or minus will become plus. Okay. See, now it is showing a arrow away from the body, means it is tensile load. So then I need to apply the boundary conditions. So here the plate is not constrained at all. So to avoid the rigid body rotation for this, what I need to do is first at a 0, 0. Where is the location here? You have a node at the location of 0, 0. You need to identify that node first. You need to apply ux uy 0 for that node. So to identify that node, what you have to do is you go for select entities, select nodes here, then you need to select by location option, you need to take x0. So then apply plot. See, now it is showing at x is equal to 0, all the nodes it is showing. These are the nodes. But I want only exactly this node. So therefore what I'll do is, again I'll go for nodes. Then what I'll do is, I'll use reselect. Then y is equal to 0 also. Then click apply and plot. So now see, I have only one node. If I go for numbering, you can see the number also. Node numbers on. See, I have node number 641. If you list those nodes also, you can see from that also. List nodes. Okay, here node number 2461, whose x coordinate is 0, as well as y coordinate 0 and z coordinate is 0. So node number, we need to remember this node number to apply the constraint for that, 2641. So then I'll go for displacement on nodes. I can pick this node. See, if I pick this node here, it is showing that it's number 2641, which is correct. Then click OK. Then what we need to do is, you need to select ux uy as 0. So exactly at the midpoint, you need to select that. So similarly, what you have to do is, then to bring back all the nodes. So now I have only one node here in the display. To bring back all the nodes, what you need to do is, you need to select everything. You need to do select everything, then plot nodes. So all nodes will come. Before that, I'll switch off the node number so that you can clearly see all the nodes. I'll switch off this. Okay, now all the nodes will come back. So then I am applying the tensile force. So then what I need to do here is, again here the center node and the center node, I need to here exactly at the top, exactly at the bottom, I need to constrain these two nodes from the rotation, or else for all the nodes first, before that what I'll do is, I'm not going to allow to move in the z direction. So therefore what I'll do is, select displacement on nodes. Then I'll do pick all. Then what I'll do is, I'll apply uz0 for all the nodes. So now it is placing uz0 for all the nodes. This blue color indicates that that is the constraint in all the nodes. So then what I'll do is, I'll go back to select entities again, select nodes. So now y coordinate. So here y coordinate is 1000 plus 1000. On this slide, y coordinate is minus 1000. So before that, first I'll go for from full. First I'll select at x is equal to 0 node. I'll apply and then I'll plot. So I'll get these loads. Then I'll take y coordinate, then reselect. So from this, I'll select minus 1000, or else simply okay. So from these two nodes also, I can easily pick that. So select this, then pick your topmost node and your bottommost node. So these two nodes, you pick it, click OK. Then what you have to do is, for those two nodes also, what you need to do is, you have to pick ux as 0, because they are at the center. So click OK. Then that's it. So you select, go back and select everything again. Then, so that's it. Your loads and boundary conditions are over. Now if you plot, you can go for plot multi-plots. So then I can solve the problem now. Go for solution, current load step, then click OK. So since your number of nodes is many, it will take some time for solve. Anyway, it is solved. So then I want to see what is the displacement. First I'll go for plot results, contour plot, nodal solution, then degree of freedom solution, and then x component of displacement. See, now this is what you have displacement. This side it has maximum minus This side plus, both are same quantity, but this side it is negative, this side it is positive, because at center there won't be anything. At the center it is 0. So this is the displacement field. You need to capture this value graph and you need to put into the record. So for that you have to go for plot controls, hard copy to file. Then here you select whatever format you want. You need to click reverse video, then click OK. It will be saved in your directory. Similarly, I want to see what is the y component of displacement. So this is the y component of displacement. So this is also symmetric. You can see it is 0.0601 and 0.6 negative. So bottom it is positive quantity and top it is a negative quantity. Okay. So then if I want to take stress values, so I'll go for x component of stress, click OK. So now it is going to be constant. So it is subjected to uniform force. The stress is also uniform here, which is 26.3907. Minimum value, maximum value, both is same. Throughout it is same because we are applying a tensile force in only one direction. Load divided by area is going to be the stress. You can check that also. If you want, you can check whatever load we are applying here. We are applying 100 into this thickness. Thickness is 10. So 100 into 10, which is 1000. 1000 divided by this area. So area is nothing but 2000. So if you do that, you will get that value. Similarly, if you want, you can take y component of stress also. That is also constant, but it is almost 0. So because we are not applied any stress in this direction, only because of Poisson's effect, you will have a stress value which is 0.01. Right? So you take the image of these two also, and then you can put that in graph. And also if you want to list the values, you can go for list nodal solution. You can go for degree of freedom solution, and you can take x component of displacement. So for various nodes, it is giving you what is the displacement. Or else what I can do is, I want to plot how the displacement field. So in the question he asked us, compute the maximum displacement at the edge of the plate. That is okay. So we know what is the maximum displacement. So from the list also you can get the maximum displacement. So click OK here. If you go completely down, so the maximum displacements are these values. Minus, one value is minus, another value is plus. So you'll get 0.19718. So you note down that value and that one as a result. Or else you can do one more thing. So you can plot these results also on a graph. So to do that, what you can do is you go for path operations, define path by location. I'll do that. So I'll use 2 points. For the path name, I'll give it as displacement path. This path is nothing but I am giving some label name. So then your first node is, first point is at this end. At this end it is, what is the x coordinate? X coordinate is minus 1000.
Yes, sir.
Y coordinate is 0 because exactly at the center. So then click OK. Then give the second point as minus 1000. It is not 1000, 100. It is minus 1000. I'll give first point as 1000. Then click OK. Then second point as plus 1000 and y is 0. Click OK. So then after defining 2 points, you can close that window. Then what we need to do is, after defining the path, you need to map the results whatever you want on the path. So here displacement or x displacement, I'll say x dis. So here I'll take this, then click OK. Then similarly, I want to plot y displacement also. Here this is y displacement. Click OK. Then once you've done that, then you can go for plot path item, plot on graph. You select whatever label you have given there, x displacement and y displacement, they will come up here. Then select those two, click OK. So now your y displacement is 0. It is showing 0 only throughout, but x displacement is changing minus 0.1092 plus 0.197. So minus to plus, it is changing minus to plus. So this is the graph you can take and you can capture this graph also using the same options like go for plot controls and hard copy, go to the file and then use the same options, click OK. Automatically this will be saved in our working directory. You take that, print out of that, and you can keep it in our record also. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is how you can solve the problem. Here also you can see the thickness. It is varying from length. It is varying 0 to 2000. So from one end to the other end, how it is changing, you can see the value here also. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So is it clear? Then we can close.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Right.